Okay, we all know online dating can be dangerous, but you would never expect a Christian dating site to have rapists trolling for women. 37-year-old Sean Banks from Del Mar is accused of just that. Apparently, he met women on christianmingle.com that he later robbed and in some cases raped. Sick. Now, one of his victims include beauty queen Victoria Kinney. She is here now to tell us her story, along with her attorney, Dan Gillian. Welcome both to Primetime.
Thank you.
First of all, I want to say I'm very sorry that this happened to you, and it's such a shame. I'm sorry. Can't even imagine what you're going through. But being here is going to help other women, and so I want to thank you for doing that. Can you now fill our viewers and I want to hear your story about what exactly happened.
Absolutely. So the reason that we're here is I want people to know that even though something looks like it's a safe environment, it's so important to be aware, and it wasn't for us. And I think the fact that I was aware of some of the warning signs helped me not be his next victim. I was not raped, and I think that because I was aware of some of these things, I was able to kind of divert that.
Okay,
so
let's go from the very beginning.
Yeah.
People would look at you and say, you're beautiful. You're about as perfect as a woman will ever get. Look-wise, I don't know you personally. I don't know how pretty your heart is, but on the outside, beautiful.
It's pretty.
So, yeah, we'll see. Your attorney says that. So why then would you go to this dating? Because that's what other people were going to know.
Yeah.
Well, why would she have to go to an online dating site?
I had gotten out of a relationship. I was a few months after that, just going through a really tough time, lots of change, changing jobs, moving, and my friend actually signed me up on there. She had a friend who met her husband there, and they like the fact that you can kind of vet people and see who they are, read about them. We were on there for one day. I agreed to it. I said, okay, fine, one day. This is crazy, but go ahead.
Are you Christian?
Yes, I am.
So I would say to people who have already talked to me about this, well, if you are Christian, this is a good way to kind of sift through men and find other Christian men, because you want that common denominator, right? And there you get to pick and choose on, like, if they have the values and the characteristic that you want,
exactly.
Morals and values. So I get it, by the way. I just want you to know that I get it. So you're on there a day, then what happens?
So I told her I don't want to do this. This is kind of odd. We had a lot of people writing us. So we shut it down, and she said, oh, this guy's very nice. He's from Texas. I think he'd be a great fit for you. I'm going to give him your email. I said, okay. And
he's from Texas even?
Yeah. Okay. And Christian, loves God, all of that. So she gave me my email. We corresponded through email a few times over a long period. I didn't write him back, for quite a while. And then I didn't respond to his last email. He then got my contact information somehow without my knowledge.
It's easy to do on the internet. It's very scary, but easy to do. But I can see this whole time you're talking to a guy who you think is saved because you think he's a Christian and he's got good values and morals. I get it.
Right. And I'm not here to judge him. I'm here to let women know that it's very important to protect yourselves online. Protect yourself. It's so easy for men to find information about you. They don't necessarily have to be a computer hacker to find your phone number, your address, your parents' address.
And there's got to be new laws about that.
Absolutely.
Privacy laws. Okay, so he gets all your information, your address, then what happens?
We talked on the phone. He called me to let me know that all of my information's ever. He knew everything about me, every detail since college, literally, where I've been, where I've lived, everything, and told me that he thought that I should know in order to stay safe. And in my mind, I did feel that was very odd, but I also thought...
He said for you to stay safe?
Right. And I thought, okay, maybe he does have good intentions. Maybe, he does care about my safety. And I talked to him 3 times total. And I had been traveling. I returned from travel, and he called me to let me know that he'd been arrested and didn't want me talking to police, and was aware that at that point I did have some evidence that would be very integral to his case and to his rape victims case, and didn't want that being given, and began intimidating me from that time.
And he told you that?
Absolutely.
And then, so now it becomes like almost a cyberbullying. Is he emailing you, or is he calling you?
He called me with that. And at that point, I'm afraid. I know that coming forward, I am going to be a target. I know that there are a lot of things that will come toward me now as a result of doing this, but when he called me and didn't want me talking to police, I knew at that moment that it was bad, because if he hadn't done anything wrong, he wouldn't have called me over that. And so I made that decision. It was hard. I know that I'm going to face a lot of pain coming forward, going through.
He's going through court?
With the DA, with the detectives. it's a very painful
Can I ask
process.
you, woman to woman?
Yeah.
I mean, females, well, we're the weaker sex physically, for the most part. Did you ever feel intimidated, like this man can come get me, he can hurt me physically if he's out? Do you ever feel that way?
For that entire week, he did make threats where I couldn't sleep. I was terrified, and it escalated once he knew that I'd gone to the police, which he had a way of finding out that I had, and that was very painful. Lots of crying, lots of throwing up, lots of fear, but from this point, I feel safer coming to the media because I feel like this is my defense.
You're doing the right thing. I want to talk to your attorney, Dan. Tell us, from your standpoint, what you're doing to help her.
Well, that's a great question, because what we're doing specifically is we're trying to get other victims, the people that perhaps interacted with him, to come forward and call the La Mesa Police Department. It's Detective Scott at La Mesa Police Department, and she's in control of this, in charge of this investigation. But you know, this is not the typical sort of rapist that may target one area of Mission Beach or PB, and the cops can go out and interview people who live around there. He was really his stomping grounds, or his preying grounds, was the internet, and so there's a lot of women that could be all over Southern California that actually received emails from him, received voice mails from him, talked to him, but he was using an alias, and so one of the aliases he was using was Ryland. There's women out there right now that may
Is that catfishing, by the way?
I have no idea, but there's women out there that may have interacted with Sean Banks and not know that they interacted with Sean Banks because he never used the right name. And so that's why it's so important. I was listening to the voicemail on the way over here and some of the text messages. I wish I could reveal and let you listen to the voicemail, because that would help other women maybe recognize the voice. They may not actually have seen this person before. You would think that they would, but maybe they haven't seen him before, so they don't even know that they've interacted with Sean Banks.
Catfishing, by the way, and that's very typical. We have a soundbite, Dan, from the defense attorney. Let's listen to that.
All right.
Imagine being a young man going on a dating service, thinking things are going well, and then having her make these types of accusations that are misconstrued, that are not correct.
You know what? Looking at the guy, he looks like my mother used to be a DA, and she would tell me all the time, Taylor, it's the men you wouldn't suspect. He looks like a nice guy. Does that guy look like a nice Christian guy or what? Just going on, just looking at him, you wouldn't think that he was a rapist. He doesn't look the stereotype that as women think that they look like. But there is no stereotype. They come in all different shapes and sizes.
Well, he's a sociopath. And that's really ultimately what it is here. He lacks the ability to empathize, and actually demonstrated that in certain ways with Victoria, when he called her and thought that she was crying for him. In reality, she's crying because she was realizing, as he was telling her that I've been arrested for rape, that she was his next victim. But he thought somehow she was crying for him. So that's a sociopath. That's pure narcissism. But the defense attorney, Gretchen von Helms, keep in mind, she also defended Anthony Arevalos. And I represented several of the victims of Anthony Arevalos, the police officer. Now, it was one day, Gretchen von Helms is saying that essentially all my clients had it coming because they're a bunch of party girls, and actually played the song, Katy Perry's song, Last Friday Night, where they're going out partying and doing all sorts of things. She played that during our closing argument. The next time she was in court, she was saying, oh, my client is so remorseful for what he did. That's what she's doing here, and it takes a lot of courage for Victoria Kinney to come out, knowing that there's going to be a defense attorney who's probably going to be targeting her and her characters to defend this predator.
Well, you are a strong woman, and you are doing the right thing.
Thank you.
And you have to know that. And you're protecting yourself, and you're protecting other women out there. If this man truly is guilty of those rapes, you're doing the right thing. In closing, is there a message you want to tell our viewers?
Absolutely. So the most important thing that I can say is listen to your instincts. I had many instances with him that I felt something was wrong, and I continued to talk to him. Because I thought it looks safe. He's a Christian. He's very smart, very eloquent. And in addition to that, keeping yourself safe on the internet, social media, email addresses, domain names, all of those things can reveal your family's address, your address, and those are things that you might be okay with unless it gets into the wrong hands. And knowing that somebody who's being accused of rape has that information is very scary, and I want everyone else to be smart and safe about that as well. And there's no need for that information to be on the internet.
That needs to change. Dan,
Yeah.
we need to do that next.
Well, you know, by the way, real quick, the company that owns ChristianMingles.com also owns and operates JDate. So don't, if you're out there on JDate or on ChristianMingles.com, don't think that the people who are operating these websites really are believing what you believe, because they're actually
And there
quite
is a lot of
contradictory.
crime that goes on in online dating, whether it's
Well-
Match or anything else. But thank you so much for coming. I appreciate you. And bless you.
Thank you.
Stay strong. You're quite a woman. Thank you, Dan.
Thank you.